Do you know what I want to ask you? I don't know if you're aware, but Usman knocked out Masvidal on the weekend. Did you know that?
I didn't see it happening, if I'm honest. I couldn't see Masvidal winning. I didn't see him winning. However,
By decision.
I don't think I saw that.
No.
TKO potentially.
KO. No T. There's no T. KO.
I saw a TKO, sort of like maybe a ground and pound almost, stoppage. I saw something like
for
that.
Usman to win.
For Usman to win. But I didn't see...
Grind out a decision.
I didn't see a showstopper highlight, clean as it comes.
Sweat off head.
That's what Masvidal does to people, do you know what I mean? That should be the other way around.
Baptism.
He came out and he got it done, and I loved it.
Baptism.
I loved it. 100%.
Baptism. I think we'll talk about what's next for Masvidal another day. But Nick Diaz was front row. I think he's slightly gutted about that one.
Yeah.
He's not really the sort of guy that just shows up, you know.
No.
He's not. Yeah, he's just not that guy.
There was a couple of things, because if Masvidal won, it opened the doors for quite a few people, didn't it? I think he sort of asked about
McGregor that 170 shot.
Well, that's it. But the thing is, and we're going a little bit off tangent here, but we'll jump back into Usman in a second. Usman came out the other day and said that he not called out McGregor, but messaged McGregor and asked, like, said to him, that shot's there for you. That shot's there for you. And apparently McGregor just hasn't entertained that.
Yeah.
At all.
I wouldn't if I was him. Just a horrendous matchup against a big...
It's not what you want.
African lion.
No, it's not what you want whatsoever. But it's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I'd watch it, but yeah.
It's interesting that he hasn't said much about that, because realistically, because Usman was saying, he's kept my name out of his mouth, and he has done, to be fair, to an extent, do you know what I mean? Especially for McGregor, do you know what I mean? He keeps everyone's names in his mouth, so what next? What do you want to see from him? What would you ideally like to see from him, and what do you think should happen?
Realistically, we need a blue-collared, trash-talking, Trump-supporting, MAGA supporting American savage to step in there and get that one back. We need the chaos that is Chaos Covington.
It makes sense.
He was there.
Yeah, he was there. He was always going to be there. By the way, like that was his Christmas. Yeah. But it's lining up for that, really, isn't it? There's fights to be made for Usman, and there's people that he hasn't fought even in that division yet. But he's lapped the field, and you need that. We need that. But does it play out any differently? Maybe.
I mean, people always forget that they're like, Colby hasn't fought since then. He has fought. He fought Woodley.
Yeah.
And Woodley was on a bit of a downhill, but he still beat him, broke
still
his
win,
dominated him. And like Colby's probably his toughest match. It's been his hardest fight so far.
At least of recent.
Yeah,
anyway.
Maybe Leon Edwards in the rematch, but then he beat Edwards pretty handedly. But that was like 2015. So I do think Colby's his hardest fight. Stylistically, the wrestling sort of cancels each other out to an extent.
It's like they don't even bother, really, is it?
And then you've just got a fucking volume guy that can box, that's in your face, that's not going to get tired. And then neither is Usman, to be fair. So there will be it will be a different fight. I don't know if the outcome will be different, but they'll both make adjustments. They're both so high level. They're the top two guys for sure.
I think you know what's interesting though. I think that what we're forgetting, which I think is an important factor, is how Edwards looks against Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Wrong end. Nate Diaz, because if he comes out and is just out, which I think is going to happen anyway, outclasses Nate Diaz,
speed kills,
and pieces it all together, because he's still at the top of the pile, but he's just in an awkward predicament where we haven't really seen anything of him to keep that fresh in our memory. So if he comes out against Nate Diaz on a huge card as the 5-round co-main and just puts on a clinic,
that'll be huge.
It's a tricky question then, because, and the truth of it is, Usman's a different fighter to the last time he fought Colby. I think that's a different fight.
Yeah. He's getting better.
He's getting better. He's getting better every single fight. It reminds me of Izzy. They said, if you want to beat me yesterday, because they get better every single time. And Usman is that guy.
He's such a hard worker, such an athlete.
He had all the attributes there, didn't he? He had that trump card we spoke about. He's got that wrestling.
Yeah.
Had good striking. Let's not get it wrong. But Trevor Whitman in his corner now. Do you know what I mean?
He's just getting polished.
Yeah.
But he had such a strong base and so much potential. and he's just working hard alongside the physical potential as well. Do you know what I mean? He's got
and his trajectory is just going like that, and it's not really stopping.
He's moving. He's not the GOAT, but he's moving in that direction.
Oh, 1,000%, 1,000%.
Dominant.
Because the truth of it is, he's doing things to people now that no one's ever done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Stopping
Masvidal.
It's fucked. It's crazy.
And as soon as you start taking a champ, and he was beating everyone, he was beating everyone, and then people were like, oh yeah, people start questioning how he does it. They're like, yeah, he's beating him like that, like that. And now he's like, no, alright, I'll get rid of that. I'm gonna stop Masvidal.
Yeah.
No one's done that. I'll do that. Bang.
Yeah. And he said it as well. Like he said, I'm coming in there to stop him this time.
Yeah, 1,000%.
He said the same against Colby. He's like, I'm gonna break this guy's face. I'm gonna break his jaw.
And he did that.
Yeah.
And he's starting to get that Mystic Mag vibe of just
you ain't beating him.
Nah.
You ain't beating him.
Because anyone going in there, what have you seen of his recent fights to think, right, I've got the edge there?
Yeah, what are you going to throw at him? He's good everywhere, do you know what I mean? He's such a neutraliser. He's just hard to beat. He always finds a way to win. He's a champ, you know what I mean?
1,000%.
Championship material.
Because you look at him and you think, as anyone, and I'm trying to think of someone to think who to match that up perfectly, but where are the chinks in his armour?
None.
Where are they?
None.
On the feet, like, he's striking, he's getting so good now, so polished, no energy expenditure, doesn't really need it. Wrestling's obviously wrestling, so where do you go from there?
Yeah, like he hasn't showed a weakness in like his jiu-jitsu.
No.
Like he's not choking guys out, but at the same time he's not being choked
no,
out. No,
exactly.
And he's definitely working on it. So yeah, he's just so high level. I do think Colby will be his next fight and his hardest fight, but I don't know. This is it's moving at 70. A lot of intrigue, a lot of matchups to be made.
The one thing that I think as well, and the last sort of point on this is, he come out in his presser the other day, post-fight presser, and what he said, which I thought was a very, very fair point. He said he's literally the most active in that division.
Yeah,
and he is, by the way, which it shouldn't really be like that, should it? Not as the champ. He's the most active in the division, and people are literally just going, right, okay, it's my go now, I'll have a go. Okay, it's my go now, I'll have a go. And he was like, I don't want, like, he's like, no, show me something. He's like, I don't have to be doing, like, it's not charity work, but it's almost charity work.
Clearly,
you know what I mean?
I'll beat you all.
He's lapped him. Yeah. So I think that's why that Edwards fight is huge, because if Edwards comes out and is like, this is why it's mine, it's going to be hard for Usman to be...
Someone make a statement.
Because the truth of it is, as well, is what's in it for... Not what's in it, but that rematch...
Risk to reward.
Yeah, it's not that high for Usman. He came out and said, I broke the guy's jaw and won. Like, what more do you want? It was one of my closer fights, but...
Yeah.
Broke his face and won, which is a fair point, so... It hots up. I quite want to see that Edwards Usman. I want to see that. I think that'd be an interesting fight.
No, I'd like to see that, and I think even if Edwards loses that, you can put him against Masvidal, or then if Nate loses that, put him against Masvidal, and then the winner gets. I just feel like Nate won't fight for a title, especially against Usman. He's kind of doing his own shit, and Usman would.
He's just being Nate. Enigma, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of those guys. But it's moving at 170. A lot of matchups to be made, a lot of potential content to be made, a lot of chats to be had. Do we know what's going to happen?
We're going to find out.
There we go.
As always, you know the drill. Drop us a like, drop a subscribe, follow us on Instagram for your daily MMA fixes. Get involved in the conversations below. Peace. You know what?